Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you today. And I did not get an episode up this weekend. I apologize for that. And of course, that means I'm going to post 2 today. And that's going to be 2 episodes, both with 2 teams and 2 people each. Lots of 2s going around today. I had a little editing problem this weekend, so I had to cancel out the last episode I was planning to do. Anyways, I stopped in front of this particular Imperial Guard base because I love the colors and it makes me think of a big McDonald's. And the Inquisitor and her guardsmen apparently are going to have to fight for their lives to keep this Imperial Guard McDonald's alive and kicking. So anyways, they love their Big Macs and whatnot. So we can see here we've got 2 teams, 1 team all Imperial Guard, 1 team all Space Marines. So we're going to have to see if the ultra-elite genetically engineered fighting machines that are the Space Marines will be able to stand up against the sheer numbers of the Imperial Guard. So we'll have to see how that works out. Anyways, let's get right on to our players. Don't want to waste any time, as it's been a while since I put up my last episode. Mr. DSM over here as our Imperial Guard. Mr. DuffyDuck also as the Imperial Guard. Mr. Commissar Lord over here, sword up on high, as you would expect. CaptainObvious as our Space Marine, Tech Marine. And Mr. IndrikBoreale as our fancy Force Commander with his nice gold helmet right there. So let's go ahead, get this game started. You can see we're on Calderis Refinery, a map that needs no introduction. It seems like just all the best 2-on-2 games tend to happen right here. And you know me, I think it's because of this little area right here, my favorite spot where all the big bashing and thrashing goes down. So anyways, we've got standard stuff coming onto the field for both players. Standard, Sentinels coming out, techs coming out, and everybody just capping their basic stuff right now. Of course, you got all the natural power over here for this side of the map. You got 1, 2, 3 powers, victory point, center VP, same thing on the other side, 3 powers and the VP over there. In the meantime, we can see Sentinels charging ahead, leading the way, scouting up front, found just what he was looking for. Always want to try to harass and pick off a couple early scout models before they get to the field with that Sentinel. Force Commander charging ahead. Other side, Sentinels doing the same thing, and there's that bright yellow and red McDonald's Sentinel.
Ready to prove myself, sir.
But he found himself a Tech Marine and a squad attacks, and you can see already that Tech Marine just whittling away at that HP. Already took off about 300 HP off that Sentinel, so not exactly what he was hoping to find. Force Commander heading into the middle, but unfortunately both Imperial Guard players are headed that direction as well. Tech Marine's going to have to get up there to give him a hand, otherwise he's going to get pushed off without much issue. Tech Marine pushing the lower side here, trying to get these requisition points decapped, but gonna find himself between the Inquisitor and his tactical Marines, which is really not what you want to be. You want to have those techs right near your Tech Marine and be able to pour some fire into anything. I'm actually not sure where he's going right here. Looks like he's fallen back. Inquisitor, you can see, already upgraded with her Holy Brazier, and that's a pretty nice melee weapon against Space Marines. Does upgrade her melee to power melee. You can see 50 DPS power melee. Gives her the Holy Pyre ability. Doesn't not particularly effective against Space Marine, but it certainly adds to some AoE, especially when you see these tactical Marines hunkered down behind green cover or something like that. You can drop that Holy Pyre and get some constant damage in there. Meanwhile, Commissar Lord charging into tons of range fire. That's not what he wants to do. He's not going to be able to stick in there long. Gets one quick special attack, knocks over the techs, and then hauls himself right on back to the base. So Catechin's coming on for both players. You should see they actually went super light, didn't get any additional guardsman squads, and going straight for Catechins, which will be, of course, very useful against these tactical Marines. But it looks like both players on the red team have gone double tack, which is going to make it actually pretty difficult for those Catechin Devils to get in range and really start putting some hurt on those tactical Marines. Catechins will beat tacks in both melee and ranged combat, but with this amount of ranged firepower, those Catechins will get whittled down before they get close, because their shotguns, despite being very powerful, are of course rather short range. In the meantime, a Devastator also on the field for Mr. IndrikBoreale. Sentinels started to charge in, thought better of it after seeing that Devastator, and certainly if he'd gotten in range to stomp those attacks, that Devastator would have shredded it to pieces. So DSM and DuffyDuck bringing those catechins to bear. Need to move these attacks back a little bit because those catechins were firing. There's no reason for them to take that extra damage. But right now we can see all 4 squads of the red team right now on the field, sitting right outside of Blue's power farm in a very precarious position right now, because with this amount of firepower, they're not even going to need flamers. They can just focus fire that power down without any issue at all. You can see it looks like DSM's just going to ignore it and try to push the lower side, but I'm not sure that's a good choice. They do have almost 2 full gen farms down here. One of the attacks did get upgraded with flamers. Scouts get pushed off by a bit of quick focus fire, but there's no way that DuffyDuck is going to be able to handle this on his own right now. In the meantime, yep, it looks like that's exactly what happened. DSM says, fine, you can focus down that power if you want. I'm going to take out yours too. Catechins, Inquisitor, and the Sentinel down there are going to make pretty quick work of it. Guardsmen do not have flamers. But it looks like both of these power farms going down. A turret going up as well. Turret dev play can be very difficult to break, even in 2's game. So long as that is defensively used, it's going to be really difficult to keep both the Devastator and the turret down. Even with the flank, the Devastator can just turn around and protect that turret. Looks like we see CaptainObvious going to go down and try to prevent that cap. Oh, the Guardsmen did get Flamer, so it looks like both teams are just going to completely lose their power farms. So really, a good play by both players. Blue team was in a bad spot. DSM pulled a good maneuver and said, okay, just hold your ground. Hold your ground, Duffy. Don't lose any squads. I'll take down their power farm and force them to react. And where he's at right now, he's in a pretty good position to deal with that too. Although the Inquisitor taking quite a bit of focus fire, what you really want to do is kind of move back. Just keep moving back and force these attacks. They're headed right for that mine. If they can just move up a bit further. Oh man, fall back Inquisitor, she's going to go down. Oh, and there goes the improvised explosives. That Inquisitor's in a bad spot right now though. She kind of needs to come back down around here. Attacks finally retreat, realizing they don't want to be too low HP with those catechins behind them. Unfortunately, the catechins didn't look like they moved in. I'm sure they could have tagged a model at least off of that injured squad right there that took the full brunt of that improvised explosive device. Anyways, you can see right now, Mr. DuffyDuck going with the double catechins. DSM now purchasing a second as well. So there's actually a catechin on the field for every single tac squad. So that is pretty brutal. Right now he's trying to take out this turret. The catechins are taking fire. I'm not sure if they'll actually get this down in time. A nice looking old reliable right there. Looks like the turret's going down. The catechins are going to have to fall back, but they will destroy the turret, and that was surely their objective. DuffyDuck actually getting a third catechin devil? That might be an Overwatch mistake. We'll have to see. Yeah, he did cancel that. And now the Devastator setting back up. That Devastator actually going to be probably not too much use this game with 4 catechin devil squads on the field. There's just going to be 4 possible old reliables, 4 possible explosive shots, and we'll probably never see that thing get set up. Probably at least need to have a Librarian in Tier 2 to give it Veil of Time, and it can set up wherever it wants.
Go ahead, son.
In the meantime, the blue team's actually captured the red team's natural power farms over here, and building power apparently, because you can see the red team's done the same to them. There was just nothing DuffyDuck could do when both players were over there on their own. So actually just trying to build some power, trying to get it up. Unfortunately, the red team's probably just going to be able to capture that back. I think even in that situation, not necessarily a great idea. But they are getting the power income right now with these 2 catechin devils. There's really not too much that CaptainObvious can do over here with just his 2 squads of tactical marines. Unfortunately for Mr. DSM, the rest of the Space Marine contingent is coming over. Their army is just compiling into this one location, determined to get their power back. Unfortunately, the Tech Marine does not. Oh man, the catechin just let him walk right by while he was in their grips. just giving him high fives as he walked between the whole squad right there. But should have been pulling out those combat blades or something. And right now, IndrikBoreale pulling a Razorback onto the field, which will really give this giant blob of doom right here an amazing field presence. Because even if a couple models do start to fall here and there, 4 squads attacks is just brutal to fight against, especially with the Razorback around. You can see Mr. CaptainObvious already upgraded this this tactical squad with plasma rifle, which is kind of curious. I'm not sure if that was just particularly to try to deal with that Sentinel. You have to know, the only other reason you would expect would be possibly Ogrins coming onto the field, but you gotta know if your opponent's bought... Oh no, what just went down there? Was that the Devastator? Yes, it was. The Devastator is down. So Catechin's finally got a melee kill. I was watching the Marines escape narrowly through those Catechins on retreat these past couple of assaults here. Oh no, and this Sentinel in a lot of trouble, getting hawked down by a Razorback. There's no way it's getting away from that. Razorback's so good at taking down Sentinels. Can just chase them right around the field and force them off if they're not upgraded with their missiles, and there it goes. But as I was saying before I got excited, I tend to get excited and cut myself off. These plasma attacks for Ogrins, you gotta know that if your opponent went for double Catechins, and as you can see, hero weapons for both of their heroes, you know, they're not going to be getting Ogrins out that fast, especially when you destroyed their power farm, which you can see both players finally getting their own power back and rebuilding that in the meantime. But Plasma probably not the greatest choice. Honestly, I would expect more likely to see rocket launchers on these tactical Marines at some point soon here. And Assault... Oh no, man! Look at that! Look at that Tech Marine! He just got obliterated by one volley of Delable Catechin fire right there. That was rough. And honestly, they just need something to deal with these Catechins and force them off. Those Assault Space Marines are not going to be a prime choice. There's just so much disruption with the Catechins, and they do power melee, of course. Those Assault Marines are just going to get swarmed wherever they go. You can see Catechins dropping smoke bombs all over the place, just trying to stall out and hold ground against this Razorback. Probably waiting for some sort of anti-vehicle to get on the field. You can see Stormtroopers coming, so we'll probably see those get upgraded, yep, right away with that anti-armor kit. And oh man, Flamer attacks coming in. These Guardsmen do not want to stick around. Those need to get engaged right now. They hop back in that Razorback and get the heck out of there. In the meantime, we can see CaptainObvious still struggling to even hold his own power farm against all these Catechins. And they're probably not going to win this melee battle. They need to get the heck out of there. That Plasma squad getting very low. Catechin's trying to engage in melee. Oh no, the whole squad goes down. Almost lose the scouts too. Oh, and a Melt-A-Shot takes out the scouts. Oh, that is a brutal loss for CaptainObvious. CaptainObvious now getting himself a Plasma Devastator, but just suffering a pretty brutal loss. You can see he's down to just the 2 squads, a squad attacks and a squad of Assault Marines. His hero's still down. And DSM just running the bottom side of the map with those Catechins right now. And that's exactly what I was talking about. That's why I was so surprised I didn't see that in those first couple engagements. Is that those Catechins can just devastate any kind of retreating heavy armor. They get the bonus for attacking heavy armor with power melee, and then of course the bonus for melee on retreat naturally. Assault Marines jumping out of there pretty low. These Meltas actually do pretty reasonable damage to tactical and Assault Marines. The Inquisitor getting her Inquisitorial Mandate, which will give her invulnerability and speed boost from time to time. And once again, the blue team's captured the natural power farms of the red team. Red team really only holding on up here with Mr. IndrikBoreale doing a good job of maintaining field presence with the Razorback against these Catechins, and I think that's exactly what you want to do. Unfortunately, now with these Melta Troopers on the field and the Catechins themselves getting their upgrades, allowing them to have their Melta Rifle, this Razorback's finding it in a bit more of a nasty spot. Luckily, though, these Stormtroopers were infiltrated for quite a while and did not have the energy to fire a Melta Bomb on those. The Assault Marines charging in, catching those catechins out of position. With the help of the tactical marines, they will win that melee battle. But the plasma dev losing at least one member. Wow, catechins just charging right in there, taking out 2 members of that plasma devastator. And DSM just really piling on the hurt for CaptainObvious right now. Got a Manticore way up on the field here. I wouldn't even want that close to the battle. I definitely would want that at least somewhere around back here. Space Marines can take that out very quickly, especially if these Salt Marines get themselves a Melt-A-Bomb. That's really all it takes. You can see, ignoring the Inquisitor, that's exactly what you want to do. Get those Guardsmen off the field, especially once that Mandate goes off, and you can charge on back in on her once that wears out of there. So, oh man, here comes a nice Plasma Dev shot, hopefully. If it hits right, it can probably finish off that squad, but it does retreat. Oh man, and actually a Tactical Marine goes down to that Inquisitor right there, drops a Holy Pyre right on the point. That is mean, and now if you want that point, you're just going to have to wade into the flame and deal with that damage. So you can see a Mine Drop being used over here by Mr. DuffyDuck, using those double catechins to just scare off any kind of tactical marine resistance at all. 4 squads of catechins is just brutal for Space Marine. You can see it right now. Oh man, I thought that plasma shot was going to go headlong into those tactical marines and take them out. I was briefly concerned there. Always the problem with plasma devs, you're not quite sure about that friendly fire. And oh man, here comes the first squad of Terminators onto the field, so that should help hold things on. They can certainly hold their own against catechins and pour some nasty fire into them. Force Commander finally rezzing Mr. CaptainObvious, getting his Tech Marine back onto the field. But in the meantime, the red team's about 100 VPs down. It's been going back and forth pretty steadily, but just in the past few minutes, the blue team's done a good job of holding these VPs and whittled them down and gotten themselves about a 100-point advantage right here. Ogryn's finally on the field. Unfortunately, the tactical marines that were upgraded with the plasma rifles have already been destroyed. And really what these Space Marines need to do is just gather up. They've kind of been fighting solo so far, but with the amount of firepower they've got on the field, they've both got a Plasma Devastator, a squad attacks, 2 squads for Mr. Indrik right now. Of course, CaptainObvious did lose one of his squads earlier. And actually, this is actually a reasonably good play right here, using the scouts to just kind of search around and blow up those mines so while it's quiet, so you don't get those blowing you up and knocking you all over the place in the middle of a battle. So here come the Ogryns charging in against that Razorback. Oh no, one last mine knocking over that Force Commander. And it looks like everything's coming to a head right here. Manticore shot coming down. Oh, but it hits the Ogryns. Finishes off the Razorback. Ogryns getting knocked around by the Force Commander, but a lot of stuff coming in. Those Assault Marines getting just devastated by those catechins, and a Plasma Dev going down to some cloaked Stormtroopers. Oh man, good play by DSM, using their main force up here and sneaking those Stormtroopers around the back. It's looking pretty rough actually for the red team right now, but some Terminators could certainly change that. Looks like CaptainObvious is tier 3 and saving up for something big. Although these Terminators need to be very careful. The Flamer is very useful for the Terminators, of course, against these Imperial Guard blobs, but I honestly would have gone for the Assault Cannon myself, because really the issues right now are the catechins, not the Guardsmen. Those catechins and those Ogryns are primarily what you need to take out, and the Flamer does not do that much damage against those catechins. Of course, Flamer resist, and Ogryns, of course, their super heavy infantry armor. So despite losing their power, both teams now heading into tier 3. You can see the last player, DSM, heading on into there. Red team down to 189 to 337. Not looking too good for them. Here comes another call-in, though, with 2 Terminators on the field. That's certainly going to give them a lot more field presence. Although really this Manticore needs to be firing whenever it can to kind of hold those VPs and prevent any sort of decap. On a team game, it's really just a lot easier to force an engagement somewhere and then drop a Manticore strike on a capping squad and potentially give it, if nothing else, grab yourself a few extra kills. That's always what you want to do, is just try to either force the Manticore shot somewhere where it's going to change the battle in your favor, or try to just sneak those capping squads, really make your opponents try to keep an eye on everything at any given time. Ogrins and 2 Catechins right here, but those Assault Marines not going to be able to deal with those Catechins, and now the Catechins are charging in, trying to get everything into melee here. It looks like they're going to focus down those Assault Space Marines if the Assaults aren't careful. Dropping those smoke bombs all over the place and just using their army as just a big mean melee blob that can't be shot down. Nice play by Mr. DSM. And you can see just using those smoke bombs to creep forward against these Terminators. And up on the top side, just another push going the same way. Manticore moving very far up. Got to be careful with that, I would say. Lots of Terminators on the field. Force Commander Terminator as well. Inquisitor using her sail ability. She did get her Excruciator armor. That's what we just saw on those... Oh man, Manticore strike going down somewhere. Oh, right on top of the power farm. Looks like they're just trying to take out some power. I didn't want to miss anything getting exploded. But really, man, these Terminators should just go over and take out this Manticore. Look, there's nothing really that close around it. They could take that thing out in so quick, just a few swings, and that thing will go down, especially to the rear armor right there. Oh, nice looking assassination right there, taking out one of the Assault Marine models. And this game has just been brutal for the Space Marine players. Catechin's hanging out right here, but choosing not to engage that Force Commander. Trying to take out that Plasma Dev, it looks like, but realizing that there's just not quite gonna do it. Not with Terminators and a Force Commander nearby. Manticore going down again. Trying to take out a capping Tactical Marine squad. Not quite pulling it off, though. And DSM pulling on a Lemon Rust tank right now. 2 squads of Terminators, 2 squads of Catechins each, some Stormtroopers. It's actually pretty vanilla, identical right here, up until you get to the Ogrins and the Manticore. Both players have lost a few squads here. I mean, Mr. Boreale lost himself his 2nd squad attacks. So did Mr. CaptainObvious. CaptainObvious still has the Assault Space Marines, but as we've been seeing, just anywhere they jump, they just get swarmed by melee, and those 3 Assault Marines can't stand up against Catechins and the Ogrins at the same time. Oh man, and Flamer attacks, Flamer Force Commander, Flamer Terminators just bathing the field in flame over here. That is Mr. IndrikBoreale's plan. Again, these Stormtroopers getting behind this turret. Luckily he had scouts in position to help with that. Need to drop a grenade and get some repair going. Oh, nice looking grenade! Took out a couple of those. Unfortunately, there is a Lemon Rust tank on the field. And oh no, you gotta have the turret focus down those Stormtroopers. They only have 34 HP. Could have taken them down. Always remember, when something's behind this turret, it's gonna retreat right in front of it. Always focus that escaping squad, because you can do some pretty severe damage at close range even on retreat. The Submarine's getting Melta Bombs to try to deal with this Lemon Rust tank. Not sure if attack's getting rocket launcher, not yet. Oh man, one last Assault Terminator getting launched up into the air right there. Commissar Lord going down, dropping a flare to save his squad. That probably actually may have saved these Catechin squads right there. 37 HP, probably just in time to protect those. But man, all this fire just piling up the AoE damage. You can see everything's just scorched up here. Oh man. Over here we've got the Lemon Rust forcing the Tactical Marines to react, and the Terminator's trying to get some swings in right there. Melta Troopers coming in. He did spot those, trying to keep those engaged. And oh man, they are probably not getting out of that one. Flamer Terminators come in, instantly kill a couple models. Scouts desperately trying to keep that turret alive and well. Rocket launcher finally on the field, but honestly those guardsmen are just going to be able to out repair those rocket launchers. Really need those Terminators to force off the guardmen. But right now they are very low. Got Meltas coming in. That Lemon Rust takes a couple more shots. It's going to be in trouble. Those Terminators need to teleport out if they've got it. They're trying to escape. 100 HP. One more shot and it's going down. Shot missed. There goes the last cannon. Oh no, and there it goes. Last Terminator goes down. Catachin's fired an old reliable just to make sure. But now Ogrins and pretty much the entirety of the Imperial Guard army right now for Mr. DSM getting behind this turret that's constantly been firing. Scouts do have it back up to full health, but unfortunately the Ogrins are behind it. Ogrins need to refocus those tactical marines. Oh man, that scout grenade I think actually took out attack. So another squad of Terminators from Mr. IndrikBoreale. Not too much that DuffyDuck is going to be able to do against that. Oh man, that is just too much armor for any one Imperial Guard player to deal with. Here comes a rocket run, not doing too much damage to those Terminators. Caught the second squad on the second run, but overall that was pretty fortunate for Mr. Boreale. So we're seeing kind of opposite sides. You know, on this side we're seeing the Mr. CaptainObvious get obliterated, although much more than Mr. DuffyDuck. DuffyDuck is at least withholding his squads against all this fire and flame and Terminators. But oh no, that Manticore getting awfully brazen. Although we've been seeing it move up that far all game and nothing terrible's happened to it, so perhaps DuffyDuck just going with what's been working for him. Of course, that Manticore can fire extremely fast at close range, so it never hurts to have it closer, but it is very risky. In the meantime, these Terminators coming in, trying to engage. Oh man, using the Immolate and just, oh man, just burned a whole squad of Guardsmen to the ground right there. And it looks like Mr. DSM's finally reacting over here, trying to give his friend a hand. Oh no, Ogren's taken out another member, or sorry, another squad of Tactical Marines. Not looking very good for the red team at all. Blue team is down by VPs by a lot. But it looks like the red team's going to be in trouble. CaptainObvious just pulled himself another squad of Terminators onto the field, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 squads of Terminators, if you count, of course, the Force Commander himself. But really, those Catachins just been tearing up Tactical Space Marines. I think we've seen at least 3 or 4 squads of Tactical Marines die so far this game. And that's simply because once you get out of position against this kind of melee, it's just going to tear you up on retreat. And even if this Tactical Marine retreats, he's got to get past this improvised explosive. It looks like it's not quite positioned correctly to take him out. But Scouts now spotted that, going to take that IED down. 2 squads of Stormtroopers, 1 Assault Kit, 1 Melta Kit. Catachin's trying to take out, oh man, they just stabbed a Terminator to death right there. Terminator's trying desperately to get these VPs back. They only need to hold for a little bit longer, but those Terminators are just so expensive to reinforce and they are not paying for themselves. Looks like this squad's gonna go down. Catachins take it out. These Catachins have to be at least, yeah, they're level 3. Now taking on the Force Commander himself. That is going to be a very dedicated, or decorated squad of Catachins by the time this battle is done. Another rocket run taking out a Devastator up here. Looks like it just barely got knocked out of the way, fortunately for itself. And is the last squad attack's going to go down here? No, the Ogrins retarget. They are very low themselves, though. Got to be careful against those Terminators. They do pack a punch when they're not outnumbered. This Layman Rust tank still on the field. Tech Marine goes down again to lots of guard fire. 1 lone member of the Catachin squad going down, a level 4 Catachin squad. Inquisitor gonna find herself in a world of hurt right here, 43 to 67. VP's just running back and forth here. Inquisitor doing some pretty solid damage though with that power melee. You can see she's level 7, so no slouch at all. Wow! At the very last second gets out of there. Oh man, but a nice looking point blank Manticore strike takes out 2 of those Terminators. Catachan's gonna be able to focus up and finish them off. Wow! Catachan's just obliterating everything. All the Catachan squads, level 4, level 3, 1 level 2, almost level 3. One of them did go down. I actually missed that, unfortunately. But one of DSM's Catachan squads finally got destroyed. And oh man, just look! The orbital bombardment on this VP along with all the immolates. I mean, the ground is just smoldering there. Normally that's kind of how the middle looks, but it's been kind of up here where all the action's been at. Craters and fire and scorched earth all over the place. Another call-in coming in. Commissar Lord upgrading for the Emperor's Wrath right now. And we've got a venerable Dreadnought on the field. If he can take out that squad of Stormtroopers right now. Oh no, but none shall fall being activated. None of his members are going to die right now while that's activated. Those Stormtroopers do need to get the heck out of there, though they are very low HP. But unfortunately for the red team, all 3 VPs are captured. The VPs are taken down. Force Commander trying to get a decap on this point while that Venerable Dreadnought just gets destroyed. Catachan's actually meleeing it to death along with those Melta Stormtroopers. This Manticore's just been sitting on the front line the whole game. Force Commander falls, 6 VPs left, 2 decaps went down, but it looks like they're just not going to be able to get the last one. And the last couple of VPs go down as the Inquisitor captures the middle. Wow! What a brutal game. Oh man, 4 squads attacks versus 4 Catachans, and unfortunately, that just did not work out well for the Tactical Marines. I think, honestly, what a bit of the problem was is that the Space Marine players just kind of got separated towards the mid-game, and those Catachans were able to start picking off squads. If they had stayed together, they probably would have been able to use their abilities and of course that big pile of Tactical Marines and start forcing off squads here and there and keep those Catachans from getting into any nasty positions. So some great play by DSM down bottom. Mr. Boreale was given DuffyDuck up here a run for his money, but unfortunately finally got pushed off when he got double teamed. And this Manticore, actually one of the most brazen Manticores I've seen in the game, always riding that front line and dropping point-blank missile strikes. Of course, the advantage to that is the second that warning comes up, that attack flare, those rockets drop much more quickly at the end of the game. Anyways, that's it for this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. Lots of death and destruction. Imperial Guard victorious over the Space Marine Army. Anyways, this is Red-Rupee. I will catch you guys next time.